Disney scrapped a $1 billion Florida plan amid the Ron DeSantis feud.
Scrapped plans to move 2,000 jobs to Florida over what it called the changing business conditions in the state. The decision comes as relations between the entertainment giant and state governor Ron DeSantis grow increasingly tense. The disagreement started when the company criticised Florida legislation that restricts discussing sexuality and gender identity in primary schools. And soon after, Mr. DeSantis stripped Disney of its self-governing powers
I'm such a good
in the
dog
Walt
dad.
Disney World Entertainment Complex.
Dude, I'm such a fucking good dog dad. I called it immediately. Yeah. She got bored. She played with her toys. She's like, okay, I can't make myself happy.
Saying what he called a woke company didn't deserve such rights. Now, Disney has sued the state over the decision. Well, let's speak to Anthony Zurcher, our North American correspondent, who's live in a town called Celebration, originally built by the Walt Disney Company in the shadow of the theme park. Anthony, this is a long-running issue, isn't it? So just take us through this sort of latest stage.
It is. It's been going on now for over a year. But this latest stage is Disney's decision to pull an investment, not in the theme park that's very close to me here in Celebration, but in Orlando. They were going to bring white-collar jobs, some tech-related jobs, 2,000 of them to this area. And for the people I was talking to around here, they were looking forward to that because Florida wanted to have some jobs that weren't directly related to the hospitality and...
Okay. So first of all, I'm a little conflicted. Because on the one hand, companies do shit like this all the time. Amazon literally did this for tax breaks. They hunt. They rarely ever bring like good jobs. They actually relocate people. So they're not hiring from like the actual population on the ground. It's not jobs for Floridians usually. It's usually a low-cost site that they created for tax benefits. So that's precisely what the fuck they're doing in this circumstance, just like Amazon did. But also, on the other hand, this looks so bad to like moderates, liberals who like the Disney brand in general and don't really care and don't really understand what corporations are doing. And certainly conservatives who look at that and go, wait, that's money leaving Florida, you fucking idiot. I believe it was California jobs that were being relocated. Yeah, there you go. It makes incredible amounts of sense. Of course it was. Yeah. So Ron DeSantis now has to fucking behave like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Because if you live by your fucking values, and your values happen to be like, I'm going to fuck over a multiple billion-dollar mega corporation that keeps fucking the state alive, okay? Now you have to turn and tell your constituents who have been conditioned into thinking corporation good, government bad, that like what you're doing is actually good and not bad in the way that you were trained to believe it is. And what Ron DeSantis is doing is kind of bad. Mostly because it's not for a specific purpose like getting a fair shake, making a corporation pay better taxes, or forcing a corporation to not get tax subsidies and actually offer well-paying jobs. Like, it's not like that. It's just simply, you did gay, and I don't say gay. I hate that. So now I'm just going to fucking, I don't know, use whatever kind of regulatory power I have to, like, stop you. And the reality is, conservatives hate government interfering in business. Liberals don't even like it all that much. And on top of that, people like Disneyland way more, Disney World, way more than they like Ron DeSantis or any politician, for that matter.
Tourism industry, they wanted to expand a little bit into the tech and white-collar corporate sector, and this is Disney showing that they can bring some pain to Florida if Ron DeSantis continues to try to punish Disney for what they view their free speech rights, expressing their disagreement with Florida law.
So, I mean, you can't talk about DeSantis without talking about the sort of election. We're assuming or expecting that he will announce his candidacy at some point soon. Just wondering how this is going to play with voters.
Well, I've been talking to voters here in Orlando, and most of the people I talk to either work for Disney or still work for Disney. I mean, the reach of the company here in Orlando is very deep. And a lot of the people I talk to have very real concerns about whether Ron DeSantis is going too far and leaning into cultural conflict, cultural war issues rather than focusing on economics. But I think that's a calculation that Ron DeSantis is making, that their Republican primary voters, the one who will determine who the presidential nominee will be, are more interested in cultural issues, taking on woke corporations and woke government rather than catering to big businesses. That may be, at least in Ron DeSantis' evaluation, where the primary voters are.
No, they're not. Let me tell you something. Being woke, being anti-woke is a distraction. It is supposed to serve the purpose of a distraction. And that distraction is to shift your attention away from actually harming corporations and their profit margins with regulatory control. So when you actually take that distraction and turn it into additional corporate control, additional regulatory control over and government oversight, you fucked up. The moment that people perceive you as fucking up their bag or fucking up their consumer experience is the moment that you have fucking lost, because in the United States of America, corporations are fucking king. My cousin is senior advertising manager for Disney. He said Disney's currently paying for anyone that moved to Florida to move back to Cali if they want, and pushing for work from home big time for 65K employees. They're also shutting down the Star Wars Hotel in September. Uh-oh.
Are now. They're not the corporate voters, not the big business, small government voters that would vote in Republican primaries in years past.
Who's going to win in a battle between Disney in Florida? Who's going to win, Ron DeSantis or Disney?
Disney has very deep pockets, and they've been in fights like this before, and they've had the endurance to last. I was talking with someone who has clashed horns with Disney in the past, and she said they are a very powerful adversary. They're a good friend to have on your side, but they're willing to wait out Ron DeSantis. So I think that's going to be a tough fight for Ron DeSantis, I think.
It's going to be really interesting. And any sort of reaction from the rest of the states, or is this very much seen as a real Florida issue, a real Florida tussle?
Well, I think Ron DeSantis is trying to make this into a national issue. He's making this a centerpiece of his nascent campaign, that he is willing to take on vested interests, vested corporate interests, even when it comes at an economic price. So I think when we see him, if we see him announce his campaign soon, I think this will continue to be a centerpiece of that he has the backbone to stand up to even a company as powerful as Disney and see it through to the end. So I don't think we've heard the end of this on either side.
Anthony, thank you so much. Really interesting stuff. Thanks.
Yeah, that's great. Like, Ron DeSantis is fucking so cooked. He is so cooked. He took on a corporate battle that is way, way too big to swallow, okay? And not only that, but also he's doing it for the dumbest reasons. I just, like, it's so bad. It's so fucking stupid for him. Awesome. I love that.